Shalom. Good to see you here. Today I'm going to attempt to show you how to use programs such as Moonphase 3 and Stellarium to number your days according to the word of our Father. So the first thing that I'm going to do is make a list of all the full moon days and the projected new moon days. Now the full moon, according to Scripture, is the day before the new moon. The new moon day is the first day of Yahweh's month, and the day before the full moon is the last day of Yahweh's month, and there will always be either 29 or 30 days in Yahweh's month. So let's get on to moon phase 3.3. I will leave description of this down at the bottom, a link where you can download it if you don't already have it. There are other programs that you can use as well, and I'll list those also below so that you'll have options. But this is what I use because it's just so very simple. First, you'll want to set it up, and I am in Central Standard Time, so I click here, and that puts me here. And so make sure you get that, then save your settings. Okay, settings are saved. I'm in Alabama, so I'm in the Central Standard time zone. So let's go to 2021, and we are in month 3 right now, and today is the 27th. So the projected new moon day will be 3/29, and the full moon is supposed to be on 3/28 according to this. You see, we see full moon here, and if we click here on the 28th, it should show us that it is full moon indeed, but we have to know the exact time. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through with this program, and we're going to find the full moon, the day of the full moon according to this program, and the projected new moon day according to this program. So for the 13th month, which is what we're going into now, and any of you saw the 12th month calendar, an explanation of that was given, and it shows and proves why there are indeed 13 months in this year. And at the end of this 13th month, it's going to also show and prove that the beginning of the year is almost here. That's for Yahweh's calendar, the beginning of the year. Okay, so we would write this down naturally, the third month of 2021, and the 28th day is the full moon day, as they have it listed. And then the 29th would be new moon day. And we will check that out in Stellarium and prove whether it is or whether it's off by one day. And there can be some that are off by a day because of the time the moon is full. You know, the Gregorian day, that's just where the problem comes in. The Gregorian calendar begins its day at 12:01 a.m. Well, it's still dark outside. It doesn't seem like a day to me, but that's when the Gregorian calendar starts its day. Yahweh's calendar starts its day when the sun is at dawn. When you can start to see daylight, when it starts lightening up outside, that means the day has begun. And that's pretty simple. So let's go on to the next month. I've got a list of these. I've written everything down. I'll show you my list, and I just did this a little bit ahead of time. You know, you can see that. You may not be able to see it really clearly, but anyway, I've got, as you can see, everything listed. The month of Yahuwah, then the full moon, and then the projected new moon day. And that's how we'll cover this. And the fourth month, the full moon is going to be on the 26th. So write down 4/26 in 2021. That will be Yahweh's month number 1. That will be the start of the new year. And the projected new moon day is 4/27/2021. So let's go to the 5th month. And Yahweh's month number 2 will begin. The full moon starts at 5/26, and we go to the 26th and 5th month of the Gregorian calendar, and the day of the projected new moon day is going to be on 5/27. So that would be the projected new moon day. That would be full moon, and you can see it is full moon, and that would be new moon day. You can see it's just slightly shaved off, and it is the waning gibbous. Okay, going on to the next month of Yahuwah, which will be Yahweh's 3rd month. This will be started in the 6th month and day 24 of the 6th month, and that is the day of the full moon. So it is projected that the 25th would be new moon day. Okay, and in month number 7, we'll start Yahweh's 4th month, and this is started on 4/24 because the new moon, the full moon, full moon is set for the 24th day, and then the new moon day would be the day following that, and it certainly looks like it is. Okay, and then for Yahweh's 5th month, that would be the 8th month, and so on and so forth. I'm going to go all the way through the remainder of this year, all the way through Yahweh's 12th month, which is on 3/17 and 2022, so that we will start Yahweh's new year on 4/16 of 2022. But this is the way that I use to set up my my page where I can show what days are supposed to be full moon and what days are supposed to be new moon days. But we have to go through Stellarium to make sure that it's not a day off because of the difference of Yahweh's day and the Gregorian calendar's day that starts at 12:01 a.m. or actually 12 a.m. Just when the second hand goes past the 12, that's when the day starts, and it's still dark for about 6 hours. Then Yahweh's day starts. Okay, so we'll go from this. We'll go ahead and pull that down, and we'll go into Stellarium. There are some things on Stellarium that I want to show you before we get started, and let me pull this down to where it'll be easy for you to see and understand. I want to always keep the north in the very middle of my screen, and that makes following this Stellarium a little bit easier. Makes it easier for us to see. Okay, I always put my date and time here. Now, if that was not up, all you have to do is go to the left side and go down to this, which is the date and time, and it puts it up, and I purposely position it to where the date and time is just above the percent of illumination of the moon. That just makes it easy for me to follow quickly so that I can tell when there's a full moon and when there is a waning gibbous or a waxing gibbous. Waxing means increasing. Waning means decreasing. So it's waxing gibbous, full moon, then waning gibbous. Okay, so those are the terms associated. I want to go up to um, teach you the very basics of the way that I've set this up. And I've set this up in such a manner as to where you have the ecliptic line, which is the yellow line you see here. And this ecliptic line runs through the Mazzaroth, the constellations, if you will. And that basically shows you the times of the year that it is. And we will be studying that, but not in detail. We'll be studying how that the moon moves through each of these every new month. And then, of course, I want to show you some of the settings that I've done here in Stellarium so that you can get basically the same page that I've got up right now on your computer. And I'll do that by doing this, clicking the it's the sky parameters, sky and viewing options window. Okay, I know it's something like that. I have mine set on stereographic. I have it set with Milky Way brightness saturation at 1, zodiacal light brightness at 1, dynamic eye adaptation, and then on the other side, stars, I have those checked because I do want to see the stars. Twinkle, well, it doesn't matter. Labels and markers, I have that set pretty low so that there won't be so much clutter on the screen. Because you can do this, and you see how the screen just completely fills up with junk. So I have mine pretty far down. I try to have it so that the main stars and everything will show, but sometimes this needs to be moved a little here or there. But the SSO, this is the solar system objects, and I've got that on. I want to, because I want to show the moon's halo, and that's here. So make sure you're checked there. I put check on simulate light speed, and then labels and markers. I do want those on the screen, labels and markers, for obvious reasons. I don't scale the minor bodies. I would rather just leave them the size that they are. And there is some already scaling done that scales the planets, but those are not the minor bodies. But anyway, going to the deep space objects, I have all of this unchecked because we're not interested in deep space objects. Yahweh didn't use the deep space objects for his calendar, and so we don't need to know those. Markings, I have on the celestial fear, which includes the cardinal points. That means the red direction, like south, southeast, southwest, north, east, whatever. We want those listed for ease of use. And then I'm showing the ecliptic of date and then the horizon. So those need to be checked on yours also if you want to use it this way. And then for the landscape, I just prefer to leave it as it comes set up. The landscape that is on Garenes, whatever it is, I say that and I check the show landscape labels and show illumination. Okay, and that's how I've got that shown. I don't show ground here because I don't want ground already in play. I do that on my own when I want it, and I'll show you why I want it sometimes during the next run of months. So star lore, I'll show labels and the show the constellation lines, and use native names for planets. Show art brightness, I've got mine set on 0.45, and I want to show the boundaries of the constellations. So I'll have that checked. And then on surveys, that's nothing. It doesn't apply to us. So after you set these things, well, something's going on with Stellarium. There we go. Okay, after you set these things, you'll want to go back to the wrench on the bottom left side. And let me show you that so you'll make sure you get to it. The wrench on the bottom left side, that's the configuration window. And we want to click on this and turn it on. And now I'll get out of the Zoom screen. And we see that that this is on, and this is the only screen we need. You want to click on Save View and Save Settings so that your view, your common view, default view, and your settings are going to be the same every time. So we can click out of this. We don't need any of the rest of this stuff. It's all oriented to other things other than what we're doing. Okay. Now, we started out, and I think that's pretty much all. If you need any help, of course, you've got your help window here down at the bottom left, and that helps with the different aspects of this program, Stellarium. But most of the help that you needed, you've already gotten, because the things that I've told you are going to set your Stellarium program up to specifically learn the different months, the times, the start times of each month and date of Yahweh's calendar versus the Gregorian calendar. Okay, first and foremost, we've got our date and time up here, which I put on the left-hand side. And of course, you see me over here on the right side, and I'm very small because I want to be sure and be out of the way. I don't want to block anybody's view. But let's go to our date and time. 2021, we want to be at month 3. And then the day is the 28th. And this is the waning gibbous. Okay, we have the waning gibbous. The 28th is supposed to be the full moon. So we have a waning gibbous. That means that the full moon has already occurred and now it's getting smaller. So we will decrease by hours until we get to full moon or waxing gibbous. There we have full moon. Okay, full moon is at 1400 hours. That's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And the moon is full. So the moon will be considered going through full all night. And this is the 28th day of the month. And the full moon occurs at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So the moon will go through. So we'll go the rest of the night. Let's go up by hours. Okay. We are now almost where the sun meets the moon. The moon has been full. It's already waning gibbous. The moon has been full the previous night. So this day, the 28th and not the 29th, is going to be the new moon day. And we prove that. Let me go up by minutes only. Because we see the full, the moon, which is full moon, it's 99.7% full, is greeting the sun on the opposite horizons. Okay? This is where this ground view comes in handy. Turn on the ground view and then turn on the atmosphere. So this button and this button. Let me zoom in where you can see that. these zoom buttons are not actually easy to operate because it's different places. I would set them up differently if I had the chance. Okay, that's the ground key, and then this is the atmosphere. We'll click on both of those, and let me get out of this. I'm having to move around my microphone and in between my camera and whatnot. So, well, there it goes. Now it came out. Okay, so we can look at this screen. We can see the moon is going to be coming up here. Now let's continue in time. Let's increase our time. We'll go up by minutes only. And we see the moon here. And we see that it's still daylight. So it is indeed greeting the sun. The moon is greeting the sun. So let's go up in minutes. I'll prove to you that the moon is greeting the sun. Okay. And that it is 99.7% illuminated. So the following day will be new moon day. So let's go ahead and go forward in time. Actually, I can cut the ground and the atmosphere off. We don't need any more. We're going through the night with the full moon. And when the sun reaches the horizon, we will see that at sunrise, the moon is setting, and without any of the ground or atmosphere keys pressed, we can tell that the sun is above the horizon and the moon is still above the horizon. So they greet on this 29th day of the third month. So that is the beginning of Yahweh's 13th month. Now, let's go back to where the moon was full. Go back by hours. Okay, the moon is full here. And let's take a look at the moon. Let's double click on the moon and go in. And we can see that the moon is in Bethula. And this is according to the scriptures. If it's in Bethula, and if it has not surpassed Spica, or what the scriptures calls Hamal, then, and this is the end of the 12th month and the beginning of the 13th month. This tells you whether there's going to be 13 months or just 12. If it was 12-month year, the moon would be here at the feet of Bethula and not here in the body of Bethula at full moon. So we can see that there has to be another month because the year is ended. If the moon is, it won't be in here, but it will be out here at the feet of Bethula or somewhere in here. And we'll see that in the next month. And we'll see that also in the next year that only has 12 months. So let's go back out and let's reorient. I do this on a regular basis just to keep myself in the right place so that you can see the ecliptical line of the sun and basically the moon. Now, the moon's a little a variation from the sun's ecliptical line, but not much. They both go through all of the Mazarot, which there are, I think, 13 now. There wasn't before, but there is now. Anyway, going to the next month, we see the first month of Yahuwah will begin in the fourth month, according to the previous program, in the fourth month and on the 26th day. That will be the day of the full moon. And we can see that the moon is 99.8% full. This is a waxing gibbous. So I guess I need to let you see that. I'm forgetting to let you see. Okay. It's illuminated 99.8%, and this is a waxing gibbous. So what we would do is we would forward to the hours. You see it's still waxing gibbous. There. Continue to forward. Okay, and now it's full moon. And this is at 2200 hours, so that's 10 o'clock. 10:02 to be exact. 10:02:54. You want to get down to the seconds. Okay, but it is full moon. Now, let's go back out of this. I mean, just, oh, that was not what I wanted to do. There we go. That was, mashed the wrong button. Who would have guessed? Okay. It's 2200 hours. Let me get back to where you can see Stellarium. And I clicked on the screen. There's the moon on the other side. If you lose the moon and you're working at or close to full moon, just take wherever the sun is and go the opposite on this circle, and you'll get pretty close to where the moon is. It works out that way. So it is now full moon. And let's go forward in time by hours. All right, we're reaching sunrise. Let's go by minutes. We can see already, without any other additional requirements of the ground or the atmosphere, that the sun is above the horizon and greets the moon, which is above the horizon. So the sun and the moon greet, and that means that this is new moon day, because the moon has already been full. And when the moon sets, when it's full, and the sun rises and they greet, that is new moon day. So we have new moon day, and then that is the fourth month. This is the first month of Yahweh's new year. So Happy New Year. That's what we'll be saying after this 13th month that we're fixing to go into. So this will be the first month of Yahweh's new year. Now let's go ahead and look for the second month of Yahweh's year, and that will start in month number 5 of the Gregorian calendar, month number 5, and day number 26. Okay. Now we're looking, and oh, it just so happens it's full moon at this particular time. Okay, this is on the 26th, and the sun has just risen, and the moon has already set. So let's go forward in time. Well, actually, let's go backwards in time just a bit. Let's get right down to where the moon and the sun greet. You can see the moon is still above the horizon, and the sun is already, the moon is still above the horizon, and the sun is already coming above the horizon and rising in the east. So this is on the 26th. new moon day, because the moon is already full before daybreak. Let's go back and prove that the moon was full exactly before daybreak. Let's go back in time, and we will use the ground. All right, so waxing gibbous. We need to go until it's waning gibbous. Okay, that's full moon. Let's look at the atmosphere and the earth, and we can see that we can still see the moon. Well, there's trees there, but we would see the moon if it wasn't for the trees, because it's still above the horizon. And it's still daylight. All right, so already daylight. Dawn has already begun. So the moon was full, and now it's waning, and the dawn of a new day. So we would consider this the new day. This would be new moon day, because that's what's going to happen, is the moon is going to become full right at sunrise. So not the next day, but today, because the sun is not yet risen, but is rising. And the moon is not yet set, but is setting. So that leaves us new moon day. Instead of 5/27 as projected, new moon day is occurring on 5/26. Okay. Now, the next month will occur on 6/24. Let me get rid of the ground and the atmosphere. Excuse me. Okay. So we are looking at a waxing gibbous. This is another month. We've already advanced a month. And the 6th month will start the 3rd month of Yahuwah. 6th month and the 24th day is supposed to be full moon. And we are waxing gibbous, so we have not yet attained full status, full moon status. So we go forward in hours until we get full moon. Okay, we are now at full moon at 13:23, a 24-hour time, military time, which would be 1:23-hour time. Okay, the moon has become full, and we'll continue on. We're here at sunset. And moonrise. We will have to turn on the atmosphere and ground, so we can see as we forward in time that the moon is rising and the sun is setting, and they do greet. So sun meets the moon, and this is the 24th day of the month of June. So the sun greets the moon, and the moon is full. It is at 99.8% full. So the moon will go through the night tonight, and the sun will greet the moon the following morning, and it will be new moon day. So let's go by hours. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. There we go. The sun is, okay, the sun is rising. The moon is full. Let's turn this off. We don't need it. Atmosphere and the ground. Okay, the moon is here, still in the horizon. Let's increase the time. Let's go by minutes instead. And the sun is greeting the moon on opposite horizons And today, on 6/25 of the Gregorian calendar, is Yahweh's new moon day. And that is Yahweh's third month. Okay? Then we go to the next time that we've predicted, which is the 7th month and the 24th day. We look at the moon, and it is a waning gibbous, so it has already been full. So we go backwards in time. Still have a waning gibbous. Now we have full moon, and I'll show you that we have full moon. Okay, 99.8% illuminated, and it says full moon. Okay, so we do have full moon. Now let me get out. Zoom back out. Oh, for Pete's sake. I mashed the wrong button. Again. What can I say? I'm good at that. Okay. Now, let me go ahead and click on the moon so it's easier to find. Okay. We are going through the night. The moon is full. Let's go by hours through the night. Oh, wait. There is one other thing we want to look at. We want to look at where the moon is, and it is in Capricorn. Okay, and the moon is actually moving back this direction each time. So it'll go to Capricorn, and then it'll go to Aquarius, and then it'll go to Pisces, and then Aries, then Taurus, then Gemini, Cancer, then Leo, and then back to Virgo. And that will be the end of the year, and will determine whether it's 12 months or 13 months based on the positioning of the moon that is full versus the star Hamal in the constellation Bethula or Virgo. Okay, so let's go through the night by hours. And we are at sunrise, and this is the moon greeting the sun, and we don't have to use ground effect or atmosphere because we can see plainly that it is full moon. It's 99.7% illuminated, and it is sunrise already. So this is new moon day on the 7th month and the 24th day. And that is new moon day. Sometimes you follow a day following, and sometimes it is the same day as there is a full moon. It will be the same day that it will be new moon day, which is exactly what this is, because new moon is in the waning gibbous. It was already full, and the sun is rising. This is the day following, so this is new moon day. Okay. Now let's go to the next month, Yahweh's month number 5. We'll start in the 8th month, and on day 22. Notice that it's just a little bit short each time. That's because Yahweh's calendar uses the 13-month year, and then it's always changing back just a little bit behind because there's so many 31-day months in the Gregorian calendar, and then there's one 28-day month, and they get it to work out good enough to tell time by, but it's always ending up on the wrong day for Shabbat. Every full moon means the following day is the first day of the month, and that is a high day. It is a Shabbat, and then the 7th day following that which would be the 8th day of the month, is going to be Shabbat. Then the 15th is going to be Shabbat. But it's not always going to fall on Saturday. It's going to fall on different days of the week because Yahweh's calendar does not align properly with the Gregorian calendar. The Gregorian calendar is man's idea. It's man-made. But Yahweh put his calendar in the sky from day one, from the very beginning. Okay. Anyway, anybody that wants to keep the Gregorian calendar, that's up to them. It's up to each individual to do what he thinks he ought to do. Okay, the 8th month and day 22, we have a waxing gibbous, so that means that the moon has already been full. So we go back in time to find exactly when the full moon occurred. And it was several hours before this. Oh, for Pete's sake, I've been going past. Going the wrong way. We need to advance in time, not go backwards in time. Sorry, it only cost a few seconds. Okay, we got full moon now, and this is it on 8/22, and that's correct, 2021, and 7 a.m. and we have full moon. Okay, the moon will be full all night, but let's take a look and see if we are indeed in Aquarius. Yes, these are the boundary lines for Aquarius, so we are indeed in Aquarius. Okay, now let's go back out, and I'll reposition everything so that north is in the middle. We can keep up with everything just a little bit better. Okay, now the moon is full and rules with the stars all night. And let's go through the night with the moon ruling with the stars. And then at moonrise, let me go up by minutes only. Okay, on 8/22, am I showing that this is 8/22? This is the full moon. We got waning gibbous. I better go back. Sorry, sometimes you have to back and forth and prove things. Full moon. Okay, and this is at 7 o'clock in the morning. We have a full moon. So we go all day. Aha, there we go. Okay, we go all day. Now the moon is rising in the east, and it's considered still the full moon because it's waning gibbous, and it's 99.3% illuminated still. So it's still full moon, considered full moon. And so the full moon will rule all this night with the stars. And the following morning, the sun greets the moon on new moon day. And there you see it. Okay. Now the fourth, let's see, let me check. Okay, the 6th month of Yahweh. That was the 5th month of Yahweh, the start. This is the start of 6th month of Yahweh. Okay, 9. 9th month of Yahweh. No, the 7th month of Yahweh. No, the 6th month of Yahweh. I'm reading my chart wrong. I've got everything charted out, but you know, it's difficult sometimes. And the date is the 21st. Okay. And we have a waning gibbous. That means it's already been full. So we have to backtrack to when it was full. Okay, that's where it's full. And it is full before it rises in the east for the night. So that means this night the moon will go through all its stages. Let's see. Let's check to see where it is now. It is in Pisces. Okay, it was in Aquarius. Now it's in Pisces. We can see right there. I hope you guys can see that it's in Pisces. Okay. The moon is in pieces. Boy, got a rat up there chewing on this moon cheese, right? Okay. Let's go forward through the night. Oh, forgot to make the moon greet the sun. Okay, the moon is just over horizon. We will have to again revert back to the fact that it is still daylight and you can see the moon rising on the horizon. So it is the moon greeting the sun. This is on full moon day. And of course, the next sunrise will be new moon day. And so let's forward in time. We can turn this off now. We'll forward in time. And we have the sun rising and the moon setting. And they should greet. And they do. They greet, and they greet well. Didn't have to have anything else for that. Okay, that's the 6th month of Yahuwah. And then the 7th month of Yahuwah starts in the 10th month of Gregorian calendar. And the what day? 21st again. Okay. So we have a waning gibbous. That means that it has already been illuminated fully. So we have to go back in time until we get the full moon. Okay, there's full moon. And we can see where the moon is. Now let's see. Let me draw it in closer. And it is full. And it does not seem like that it is yet in Aries. It's looking to be like it's still in Pisces, but then again, we've just ended a 13-month year, so that puts it on the borderlines. But it's supposed to be going into Aries and then into Taurus. That's the next coming. Actually, Aries comes here and they've got a boundary that goes down here for Pisces, but I think the boundary should be going like this, and that would make this already in Aries. That makes more sense. Anyway, the line that's vertical to this in Aries is already past where the moon is. So anyway, that's more to chew on and learn about for next time. Okay, now the 8th month of Yahuwah, that was the 7th month. The 8th month of Yahuwah goes to 11, and what day? 11/19. Okay, and when we click on that, we find ourselves with a waning gibbous, and I need to go ahead and straighten this up and zoom out so we can see where we are. Okay, now back to date and time. It is the waning gibbous. That means it's already been full, so we have to go backwards in time. We'll go backwards in hours until we find the full moon. Okay, there we have full moon. Okay, and let's take a look at the moon and see where it is. It is in Taurus. Yeah, so it was in Aries and now it's in Taurus, and it's obviously in Taurus. Works out. One to the next. Okay, it's full moon now, so that means that before sunrise, the moon is full, and now as the waning gibbous, that means that when the sun rises, the sun meets the moon on opposite horizons. This is 11/19. Because of the timing, 11/19 will be New Moon Day. So this is the beginning of Yahweh's 7th month. Okay? No, 8th month. Beginning of Yahweh's 8th month. Well, it's hard to, it's easy to get confused when you're going back from one month to another month. Yahweh's months don't line up with the Gregorian months at all. But his months are perfect. And I know that it's a new month every time I see a full moon. And I see the moon when it's waxing and getting more and more full. I know just by looking at the sky that it's almost the end of the month. I don't have to go to a calendar somewhere and see when the end of the month is going to be. I can see in the sky when there's going to be a new month coming up. Okay, they do greet, and this is New Moon Day. Now the 9th month of Yahuwah, is going to be the 12th month and the 19th day also. Okay, and we have a waning gibbous. That means it has already been full. Okay, it's full moon now. And because it is before midnight, it puts it the day before. So the full moon is not actually on December the 19th, but it's actually on December 18th. Okay, because it's before. See, it's full moon before midnight. So, in 1 hour, it's another day. So, this other day will be the new moon day because the moon is already full and it rules throughout the night and greets the sun at the end of its course. And we have again the first day of Yahweh's ninth month. Okay? While we're at full moon, before we move, let's see where we are in relation to the full moon. That just clicks on the moon and it makes everything go crazy, but nonetheless, it's showing that we are still in Taurus, but you know that it has been close to the border all the way through this because of a 13th month year. And so I would have a tendency to move, according to the moon, to move this boundary line here instead of there and say, well, it belongs here because of a 13th month that requires it to be there. It doesn't require it. Actually, there's no scripture that says anything about this, but we have noticed over the years that the moon follows the course of the sun closely and goes through the same constellations as the sun goes through. Okay, now let's go back out and let me go to the north and pull to the center so we can have everything set back up again. Okay, if I can get everything set back up again. Okay. What have I done? This thing flipped over backwards. Okay. Flipped over backwards and it's hard to get a hold of again. Let me go back. North. North. There we go. That's gonna do it. We're back in shape somewhat. Okay. This is fun, really. I mean, you know, I enjoy doing this, but it is a lot of work. Okay. Now, it is 12:19, so we'll advance in hours. We're already at the waning gibbous. The moon has just been full. And the moon is about to set and the sun is rising. Okay, we get to see the sun rise and greet the moon on New Moon Day. So this is the first day of the 9th month. Okay, now let's go to the next month, which would be the first month of the Gregorian and the 10th month of Yahuwah. Okay, and the day that it's supposed to occur, I wrote down okay, just making sure I have to double check my figures. 17th. Okay, that's when they say that the new moon is supposed to occur. 17th, and we are on the waxing gibbous. So it is building, so we need to go further into the future to get the full moon. Okay, now it's full moon, and it's full moon at 1600 hours. So that's 4:52. It's almost 5 o'clock, and it's full moon. And of course, this time of the year, January, we see that. That's not uncommon. Okay, it's full moon, and it's already rising in the east. So the moon will continue to rise and rule the night sky. Let's, while it is here, see if we can tell before we leave. Yes, the moon already is in Cancer. Then the next month it'll move to Leo. Okay, it's in Cancer, so we don't have to increase that or anything. I'll let you see. You can see that it is in Cancer. These are the boundaries for Cancer. So it is in Cancer. Okay, let me get back out. I'm mashing the alternate ESC instead of the Windows key and ESC. I don't know why I do that. I've done it 3 times tonight. So anyway, let's get back. I'll go ahead and put that on moon so it stays there. So let's go through the night with the moon. We'll advance in hours, approximately 12. Through the night, and then the next morning, the moon will meet the sun, greet the sun, and as you can see, it obviously greets the sun above the horizon, and this is New Moon Day for Yahweh's 10th month. Now, Yahweh's 11th month starts in the Gregorian pagan calendar of February, and the day is the 16th. Okay, it says that the moon is a waxing gibbous. Let me increase that so you can see. Okay, it says that the moon is waxing gibbous. It's 99.8% illuminated. So we have to go forward in time, let the moon build until it becomes full. All right, it became full, 9:58 a.m. And this is on February 16. So let me come back out of here. This time I'm going to hit the right buttons. Yay, I did. Okay. So, I have to think while I'm doing this, and sometimes it's not easy to concentrate and think and speak at the same time. And then sometimes you're just mumbling, and because you're reassuring yourself you're doing the right thing. But I find it difficult to concentrate on what I'm doing and being able to also speak at the same time. Okay, the moon is full and the position is in Leo. So we moved from Cancer to Leo. And guess what? The next month is the 12th month. We're going to be moving into Bethula. But here we are at the first day of month number 11 for Yahuwah. Yahweh's 11th month. And it's not yet the first day because it is still daytime. So we have to increase in the hours. We are still considered full moon. Let me go back. We need to address this carefully. Okay, the moon does meet the sun, and you can see it well enough. It's well enough where we don't have to use ground effects and atmosphere to prove that the moon does greet the sun. I will go ahead and do that and let you see it so that you're not saying, oh, Brother Ken, you might be cheating. There's the moon. We see the moon. I can see the moon. And we can see that it's still daylight. So the moon does rise above the horizon before daylight is gone. And just to make sure you see, it's still daylight and the moon is already above the horizon. So The next morning, after this night, the moon will rule with the stars tonight, and the next morning will be new moon day. Okay, let's go forth. Okay. We don't need the ground effect and the atmosphere. We can see clearly that the sun is going to greet the moon, and there it is on new moon day, and this is Yahweh's 11th month, the beginning of the 11th month. Okay, the beginning of the 12th month of Yahweh is on 3 and 17. Okay, it's the same. 17, 3:17, and should be new moon day by 3:18. But we are at 3:17 showing a waxing gibbous, so we need to increase and let the moon build until it's full. We are building. Okay, it's full moon. All right, so where is the moon? And that's the sun, that's not the moon. Okay, this is the beginning of the 12th month. Can you see that? There's Virgo, and it's already in the head of Virgo. And I can't see anything else that would be significant in that. That's okay, that's good. Anyway, it's in the head of Virgo, and that's starting the 12th month. Okay, we'll bring back the north to center. The moon goes all night and will continue going by hour until the moon sets. Need to go by minutes because we're close already. There comes the sun. It's above the horizon. The moon is still above the horizon. So the sun greets the moon. And this is the beginning of the 12th month of Yahuwah. Now, the next month will occur in the 4th month of Gregorian on the 16th day. And the moon is a waxing gibbous, so we have to advance in hours to make it become full. Oh, it's full there. Okay, full moon. All right. And while the moon is still full, it still says full moon. I'm going to advance for another hour. It's still full moon. Okay. Okay, that's full moon right there. It's the end of the full moon. And we want to look at the moon. Actually, we will double click on the moon and center it so we can just go straight in. And you see that the moon at the end of the 12th month is below Hamal, or Spica is the modern name. But it is below Hamal, meaning it's in the feet of Bethula. Excuse me. So that means this is the end of the year. When the moon is in the feet of Bethula, it's the end of the year. The next month will be the first month of the year. Oh, is that right? 3, 4, no. This is the first month. This is the first month of the new year. And that starts, this would either be the 13th month or the first month, because the 12th month is already passed. So this is either the 13th month or the first month. And because it's in the feet of Bethula, it means that it is a new year, and it is the first month. The year is over. When the moon is in the feet of Bethula, the year has reached its end. So that's showing you all that I have learned, and maybe not all that I've learned, but a lot of what I have learned, and a few tips and tricks to make it easier on you to do your own if you like this sort of thing and want to do this sort of thing. As for me, I want to do it myself so that I can prove the days. I'm going to be careful, and I may not do everything perfect. I may not have Yahweh's first day of the month exactly on the right day one time or another because I did this thing wrong or that thing wrong. But I'm doing this with all of my heart before Yahweh. And he knows if I make a mistake, he's just going to forgive me, because I'll be celebrating his Shabbat on the wrong day of the week. Today, according to this, let me see. We haven't actually reached the day yet. Let's go on until we reach daylight. Okay. This is okay. This is not new moon day, but this is the last day. And we are going to have to go to ground and atmosphere to prove that the moon is rising. Let's just go by minutes. We can see the moon rising. It is still daylight, so we are within that. And then the moon will run its course with the stars all night tonight. And the next morning will be New Moon Day, and that will be on the 17th day of the 4th month of the Gregorian calendar. So let's go forward in hours. Okay, we see the moon setting. Let's get off the ground. We see the moon setting. It's above the horizon. The sun is rising. It's above the horizon. Voila. And voila in French means like, yes, there you go. That's it. But voila in the Philippines means it's nothing. So I don't mean it Philippine voila. I mean the French voila. Okay. So there is the first day of Yahweh's New Year following the 12th month. And this is the first month. Okay. I hope that this has helped you guys. I appreciate you for coming here and watching this and trying to learn something. Yahweh certainly is going to Barak each and every one that shows interest in counting their days before him, his way, and not the world's way. So, shalom to each and every one of you. And we'll close out with a song.
I sing to Yahuwah, for he is highly exalted. The horse and its rider he has thrown into the sea. Yah is my strength and song, and he has become my deliverance. He is my El, and I praise him, Elohim of my father, and I exalt him. Yahuwah is a man of battle. Yahuwah is his name. He has cast Pharaoh's chariots and his army into the sea, and his chosen officers are drowned in the sea of reeds. The depths covered them. They went down to the bottom like a stone. Your right hand, O Yahuwah, has become great in power. Your right hand, O Yahuwah, has crushed the enemy. And in the greatness of your excellence, you pulled down those who rose up against you. You sent forth your wrath. It consumes them like stubble, and with the wind of your nostrils, the waters were heaped up. The floods stood like a wall, the depths became stiff in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, I pursue, I overtake, I divide the spoil, my being is satisfied on them. I draw out my sword, my hand destroys them. You blew with your wind, the sea covered them, they sank like lead in the mighty waters. Who is like you, O Yahuwah, among the mighty ones? Who is like you, great in Kodeshah, awesome in praises, working wonders? You stretched out your right hand, the earth swallowed them. In your kindness, you led the people whom you have redeemed. In your strength, you guided them to your Kodesh dwelling. Peoples heard, they trembled. Anguish gripped the inhabitants of Pelasheth. Then the chiefs of Edom were troubled, the mighty men of Moab. Trembling grips them, all the inhabitants of Canaan melted. Fear and dread fell on them by the greatness of your arm. They are as silent as a stone. Until your people pass over, O Yahuwah. Until the people whom you have bought pass over. You bring them in and plant them in the mountain of your inheritance, in the place, O Yahuwah, which you have made for your own dwelling, the Mikdash, O Yahuwah, which your hands have prepared. Yahweh reigns forever and ever.